thing going and I'm driving, so I gotta be careful. But I started a cleaning business right after I turned 50, packed up my car, moved to Georgia. Only knew one person, and that was Ray, the guy that I live with. And I don't know if I told you before, but he had had his second below the knee amputation right before Christmas. So all this time, and here we are in the beginning of August, he has not had a prosthesis, and he's been using a wheelchair and crawling and adapting to life with no feet. So yesterday he went to get his prosthesis, and he's using a new facility now, and it was amazing how, well, first of all, how fast. The first place that he went to when they were making the prosthesis, and this is all a process, so I'm giving you like a brief overview, but anyway, the first place he went to, they had to cast it, with plaster, his stump, and then they made a temporary socket for him, and then he for the permanent one. So it was a long process just to get his original prosthesis that he had after his first amputation. And then by the time he had his second major amputation, the first one really needed to be modified, because things you don't know until you go through it, right? Your stump will change over time, and basically it gets smaller, and they want it to kind of get cone shaped. When you first have the surgery, it's just kind of blunt cut off, like I don't know how else to describe it, but it's kind of like when you cut on a tree. It's just straight across usually, and the tissues, the soft tissues in the stump will, and they want this to happen, you put a shrinker on, that's what they call it. He wears a shrinker sock when he's not wearing the prosthesis, and it compresses the tissues and makes it more cone shaped. So that's the way they want the limb to be, as much as possible before you get the prosthesis. And then over time your body changes anyway, right? So he went yesterday. They told him it was going to be an all-day thing, which, one day is kind of good. And it was so cool, the technology that they used. The technician, I guess that's what they call him. I don't know what they call him professionally, but he had this scanner that he held in the hand. It had a handle like an ironing board, but then it was almost like a video game kind of thing. And he just waved it around his stumps, and it takes hundreds and hundreds of pictures of it. And he puts little markers on there to mark certain places in the prosthetic that they have to support the limb and to support the body, since he's going to be standing on these things. And then they download all that into the computer, and it makes a model on the computer of what the socket should look like. And then they use the 3D printers, and they first do a temporary one. It's clear plastic, and they bring it into him, and the sleeve that he puts on his leg on this one is different. The first one he had was based on suction. When he put his foot or his leg down into the socket, there was a suction that helped the prosthesis stay on, and that was the problem he was having, because his stump was shrinking. It wasn't fitting right, and it's really important for you to have a good fit and not have a lot of rubbing and that kind of thing, because then you can get sores, which is an invitation for infections, and we know he's prone. So we're not gonna, we don't like that. That's not a good, healthy thing. So he brings these clear sockets in, and the new sleeves that he has a pin on the end of it that goes down into the socket, and it locks into the base, and that's how this socket or prosthesis stays on his foot or on his leg. And so with these clear models that they're going to use, they can see exactly how his limb is fitting in there and make any adjustments, and how it fits up around the top, because you have to consider where it comes up underneath the kneecap, and when you bend your leg and those kind of things, if it's going to rub, or if it's pressing too much, or if it's not holding the leg up, etc. And then they go back, and after the adjustments are made, and they make the actual socket for the prosthesis. And he came home yesterday. He had his new legs all in one day, and it was, things that you don't think about. Like, people think you just put the prosthesis on and you can just do whatever you normally do, and that is not the case. And he was thinking that it would be like walking on stilts. It's not like walking on stilts. He found that out. You have your whole leg and your foot and your ankle and everything to help you balance on the stilt, but he doesn't have that. So there's that issue that he's got to deal with, is learning how to balance on these new legs. And he hasn't even worn his other prosthesis since December, so we're talking like almost 7 months, where he hasn't been using those muscles in his legs in the way you would to walk. Plus, I'm kind of thinking, based on the coaching that he got when he was, taking his first steps, that your muscles are used differently with the prosthesis, because you're only using what you have left versus when you have a normal gait as a normal person who has both your feet. And so he was talking about him being conscious of using his quads, I guess that's what you call it, and the muscle down the front of your leg, on your thigh, to move the leg. And where, like when I walk, first of all, I don't think about it, but I think that you that momentum you get when you move your leg forward, you almost like swing your leg out before you come down on your heel. And when you walk, normally you have this rolling motion from heel to toe with your foot. Your foot is flexible, but on a prosthesis, the foot is not flexible. So there is a different movement that goes with it. But anyway, it was extremely interesting. The place was awesome. As far as, the care that they gave, they made sure that we ate, they fed us. That was nice. And they even went up to they got us Arby's, which Arby's is like a fast food place. I don't know if they have them everywhere, but they went and got it for us and fed us. And he had his feet right at the end of the day. They gave us t-shirts. And so today, right before I left, I made sure that he at least got up, out of the bed and was standing. He's got his crutches right now to keep from falling. But I had to leave him alone. I kind of hate doing that, because I hope he doesn't fall while I'm gone. He's only supposed to be walking for 2 hours total. They told him an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. And you build up a little bit every single day, a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, because you have to build up your strength. You have to toughen the skin and the tissues inside the socket. It's just like anything that you start new that's physical. You have to build up your strength and your resistance and your tolerance and all those kind of things. But he did it. He got up on his feet and he was going into the kitchen when I left. And I have one job to do today. It'll probably take me about 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm going home to make sure he's okay. He'll probably get something to eat while I'm out, but I'll make sure that he has a good dinner tonight. And that's exciting news. It's one of those things you don't know until you go through it, what it's like. And it's just the technology was really amazing to me. But I thought I'd share that with you. Things are starting to look a little better for us. We're moving in a more positive direction now, so I'm happy about that. And I just wanted to give you guys an update. It's time for me to get to work. I am at my location now. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to know more about life with a amputee, he won't do the videos, but I can tell you certain things. Ask me, put it in the comments below. I gotta get in there and go to work. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to find out about my strange life. And y'all have a good day, okay? Bye-bye.